Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Reading the Bible with Daniel. Also finding hope through faith. So today we're still in Leviticus 23:27, chapter 23, through verse 27. But so last time we were here, we were talking about what you could and couldn't eat and what you could and couldn't do, based on the commandments of the Lord. And so we're going to continue that. We're going to kind of pick up where we left off and then go from there. Hope everybody's having a good day so far. But so again, as we go through, I'll just stop when I see things or hear things and then talk about them. So there's a lot of rules last time, and that were kind of out there, and the punishments for said rules of you like not doing the right thing were kind of way out there. But I guess it just kind of is what it is as far as this goes. So going back just a little bit and then going forward is what I've been doing. So it seems to be working. So that's what I'm going to continue doing. And then, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's start here. You shall not eat any bread or roasted grain or new growth until the same day when you bring the offering to your God. It is a permanent statute through your generations wherever you may be. You shall count from the day after the Sabbath, from the day when you brought the sheaf, the tied bundle of grain of the wave offering. There shall be 7 complete Sabbaths, 7 full weeks. You shall count 50 days to the day after the 7th Sabbath. Then you shall present a new grain offering to the Lord. You shall bring in from your places 2 loaves of bread as a wave offering. You shall bring in from your places 2 loaves of bread as a wave offering. If I've repeated the information, I'm sorry. Made from 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour. They shall be baked with leaven as first fruits to the Lord. Some leaven? What? He hates leaven, but I guess because it's like cakes. 2 loaves of bread as wave offering. So, yeah, okay, that whatever. Okay. And you shall offer the bread 7 unblemished lambs, 1 year old, and 1 young bull, and 2 rams. They are to be a burnt offering to the Lord with their grain offering and their drink offerings. It is an offering by fire, a sweet and soothing aroma to the Lord. And you shall sacrifice 1 male goat as a sin offering and 2 male lambs, 1 year old, as a sacrifice of peace offerings. It's a lot of sacrificing. They're sacrificing a lot. But I guess it is what it is because God commands it. The priest shall wave them before the Lord as a wave offering, together with the bread of the first fruits and the 2 lambs. They are to be holy to the Lord for the priest. On this same day you shall make a proclamation. You are to have a holy convocation. You shall not do any laborious work on that day. It is to be a permanent statute throughout your generations wherever you may be. When you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not reap to the edges of your field, nor gather the gleaning of your harvest. You are to leave them for the poor and for the stranger. I am the Lord your God. Again, the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Say to the children of Israel, on the first day of the 7th month, almost October, you shall observe a day of Solomon, sabbatical rest. A memorial day announced by the blowing of trumpets, a holy convocation. You shall not do any laborious work on that day, but you shall present an offering by fire to the Lord. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Also the 10th day of this 7th month is the day of atonement. It shall be holy, a holy convocation for you, and you shall humble yourselves by fasting and present an offering by fire to the Lord. You shall not do any work on this same day, for it is the day of atonement, to make atonement on your behalf before the Lord. If there is any person who will not humble himself on this same day, he shall be cut off from his people. If there is any person who does any work on this same day, I will destroy that person from among his people. You shall do no work at all on that day. It is a permanent statute throughout your generations, wherever you may be. It is to be to you a Sabbath of complete rest. And you shall humble yourselves. On the 9th day of the month at evening, from evening to evening, you shall keep your Sabbath. Again, the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Say to the children of Israel, on the 15th day of this month, of the 7th month, and for 7 days is the feast of booths, that is tabernacles, to the Lord. The first day is a holy convocation. You shall not do any laborious work on that day. For 7 days you shall present an offering by fire to the Lord. On the 8th day you shall have a holy convocation and present an offering by fire to the Lord. It is a festive assembly. You shall not do any laborious work on that day. These are the appointed times of the Lord, which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to present an offering by fire to the Lord, a burnt offering and a grain offering, sacrifices and drink offerings, each on its own day. This is in addition to the weekly Sabbaths of the Lord, and in addition to the gifts and all your vowed offerings and all of your freewill offerings, which you will give to the Lord. On exactly the 15th day of the 7th month, nearly October, when you have gathered in the crops of the land, you shall celebrate the feast of the Lord for 7 days, with the Sabbath rest on the first day and a Sabbath rest on the 8th day. Now on the first day you shall take for yourselves the foliage of beautiful trees, branches of palm trees, and boughs of thick leafy trees, and willows of the brook, and make booths of them. And you shall rejoice before the Lord your God for 7 days. So this is good. This is, for all of these things you have to do, he requires all of this rest and rejoicing. That's good. We're starting to get into possibly stuff that's not so dark, so that's good. You shall celebrate it as a feast to the Lord for 7 days in the year. It shall be a permanent statute throughout your generations. You shall celebrate it in the 7th month. You shall live in booths, temporary shelters. For 7 days, all native born in Israel shall live in booths, so that your generations may know that I have the sons of Israel live in the booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. So Moses declared to the Israelites the appointed feasts of the Lord. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel to bring to you clear oil from beaten olives for the light of the golden lampstand, to make a lamp burn continually. Outside the veil of the testimony, between the holy place and the most holy place, in the tent of meeting, Aaron shall always keep the lamps burning before the Lord from evening until morning. It shall be a permanent statute throughout your generations. He shall keep the lamps burning on the pure gold lampstand before the Lord continually. Then you shall take fine flour and bake 12 cakes, bread of the presence showbread. With it 2/10 of an ephah shall be in each cake. You shall set the bread of the presence in 2 rows, 6 in 1 row, on the pure gold table before the Lord. You shall put pure frankincense in 2 censers, 1 beside each row, so that it may be with the bread as a memorial portion and offering by fire to the Lord. Every Sabbath day Aaron shall arrange the showbread before the Lord continually. It is an everlasting covenant for the Israelites. The bread of the presence shall be for Aaron and his sons, and they shall eat it in a sacred place, for it is for Aaron a most holy portion of the offering by fire to the Lord, his portion forever. Now the son of an Israelite woman, whose father is an Egyptian, went out amongst the Israelites. He and a man of Israel quarreled and struggled with each other in the camp. The Israelite woman's son blasphemed the name of the Lord and cursed, so that they brought him to Moses. Now his mother's name was Shelonomith, the daughter of Debiri, of the tribe of Dan. They put him in custody until the will and command of the Lord might be made clear to them. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Bring the one who has cursed the Lord outside the camp, and let all who heard him lay their hands on his head as witnesses to his guilt. Then let all the congregation stone him. You shall speak to the Israelites, saying, Whoever curses his God will bear his sin through his own death. Furthermore, the one who blasphemes the name of the Lord shall most certainly be put to death. All of the congregation shall stone him. The stranger as well as the native born shall be put to death when he blasphemes the name of the Lord." So went from positive, now we're back to negative, but I mean, God does not like to be blasphemed against. That is so bad for him. Furthermore, let's see. If a man takes the life of any human being unlawfully, he shall most certainly be put to death. The one who kills an animal shall replace it, animal for animal. If a man injures his neighbor, whatever he has done shall be done to him. That's an eye for an eye. It's in the Bible. I didn't know that. Fracture for fracture, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, just as he has injured a man, so shall the same be done to him. The one who kills an animal shall replace it, but he who kills a human being unlawfully shall be put to death. You shall have one standard of law for your stranger among you as well as for the native, for I am the Lord your God. Then Moses spoke to the Israelites, and they brought the one who had cursed the Lord outside the camp and stoned him with stones. Thus the Israelites did just as the Lord had commanded Moses. The Lord spoke to Moses at Mount Sinai, saying, "Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, When you come into the land which I am giving you, then the land shall keep a Sabbath to the Lord. For 6 years you shall sow your field, and for 6 years you shall prune your vineyard and gather in its crop. But in the 7th year there shall be a Sabbath of rest for the land, a Sabbath to the Lord. You shall not sow seed in your field, nor prune your vineyard. Whatever reseeds itself uncultivated in your harvest, you shall not reap, nor shall you gather the grapes from your uncultivated vine. It shall be a year of sabbatical rest for the land. And all of you shall have for food whatever the untilled land produces during its Sabbath year, yourself and your male and female slaves, your hired servant, and the foreigners who reside among you. Even your domesticated animals and the wild animals that are in the land shall have all its crops to eat. You are also to count off 7 Sabbaths for years of yourself, 7 times 7 years, so that you may have the time of the 7 Sabbaths of years, namely 49 years. Oh man. So I wonder why the 7th year is this sabbatical year. It's like, I wonder why that is. Then you shall sound the ram's horn everywhere on the 10th day of the 7th month, almost October. On the day of atonement you shall sound the trumpet throughout your land. And you shall consecrate the 50th year and proclaim freedom for the slaves throughout the land to all its inhabitants. It shall be a jubilee for you, and each of you shall return to his own ancestral property that is sold to another because of poverty, and each of you shall return to his family from whom he was separated by bondage. That 50th year shall be a jubilee for you. You shall not sow seed nor reap what reseeds itself, nor gather the grapes of the uncultivated vines. For it is the jubilee. It shall be a holy to you. you shall eat its crops out of the field. In this year of Jubilee, each of you shall return to his own ancestral property. If you sell anything to your friend or buy from your friend, you shall not wrong one another. According to the number of years after the Jubilee, you shall buy from your friend, and he is to sell it to you according to the number of years of crops, which may be harvested before you must restore the property to him. So you gotta take what you sowed and then sell him the property. That makes sense. If the years until the next Jubilee are many, you shall increase the price. But if the years remaining are few, you shall reduce the price, because it is the number of crops that he is selling you. You shall not wrong one another, but you shall fear your God with profound reverence, for I am the Lord your God. Therefore, you shall carry out my statutes and keep my ordinances and do them, so that you may live securely on the land. Then the land will yield its produce, so that you cannot eat your fill and live securely. You can eat your fill and live securely on it. And if you say, what are we going to eat in the 7th year if we do not sow, seed, or gather crops? This is my answer. I will order my special blessing for you in the 6th year, so that it will produce sufficient crops for 3 years. Well, that's good. When you are sowing the 8th year, you can still eat old things from the crops, eating the old until the 9th year when its crop comes in. The land shall not be sold permanently, for the land is mine. You are only foreigners and temporary residents with me. So in all the country that you possess, you are to provide for the redemption of the land in the year of Jubilee. If a fellow countryman of yours becomes so poor he has to sell some of his property, then his nearest relative is to come and buy it back, what his relative has sold. Or in case a man has no relative to redeem his property, but he has become more prosperous and has had enough to buy it back, then he shall calculate the years since its sale and refund the balance to the man to whom he sold it, and so return to his ancestral property. But if he is unable to redeem it, then what he has sold shall remain in the hands of the purchaser until the year of the Jubilee. But at the Jubilee it shall revert, and he may return to his property. So that's good. This is an ancestral property, so this is what is guaranteed from God to the Israelites. If a man sells a house in a walled city, then his right of redemption remains valid for the year after the sale. His right of redemption lasts a full year. But if it's not redeemed for him within a full year, then the house that is in the walled city passes permanently and irrevocably to the purchaser throughout his generations. It does not revert back to the year of the Jubilee. The houses of the villages that have no surrounding walls, however, shall be considered as open fields. They may be redeemed and revert in the year of Jubilee. So, I mean, that's fair. I mean, that's absolutely fair, I think. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't know about you guys. As for the cities of the Levites, and the Levites have a permanent right of redemption for the house and the cities which they possess. Therefore, what is purchased from them may be redeemed by a Levite, and the house that was sold in the city they possess reverts in the year of Jubilee. For the houses in the Levite cities are their ancestral property among the Israelites. But the pastoral lands of these cities may not be sold, for that is their permanent possession. Now, if your fellow countryman becomes poor and his hand falters with you, that is, he has trouble repaying you for something, then you are to help and sustain him with courtesy and consideration, like you would a stranger or a temporary resident without property, so that he may live among you. Do not charge him unserious interest, but fear your God with profound reverence, so your countrymen may continue to live among you. I think that's a good place to stop. But before we do that, honestly, we could have a lot of this same stuff today. Today has become Greedy, 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 money, money, money. Everything is money. Everything is money. Everything is money. Everything, nothing matters. It's forced, shoved in your face all of the time. Money, money, money. But there was times when people didn't have money. There was times when these things didn't exist, and people just did the right thing. That's what we need to go back to. And not everything needs to cost money. Not everything needs to be so expensive people can't afford it. Money doesn't need to exist. It's ridiculous. There has to be a better system of commerce. But that's for another story and another time. Thank you so much for coming to see me. Hope you have a great day. Thank you.